no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Oh, and you're laughing, oh, and you're laughing.
Are we good?
Yeah.
That's Marcus. I'm Ben. I'm not going to approve of the first message that you guys heard tonight.
My name's Tippy Peters.
Tippy Peters?
The only singer in the silent movie business.
I can't believe that you were the only singer in the silent movie business.
When you're singing for the silent films, all you got to do is move your mouth bigger.
And of course, it's Halloween. It's our final episode of October, and what a month it has been.
I want to thank every single one of our listeners who contributed to Halloween. It was fucking fantastic.
It's been, honestly, I think it's been the best month so far here at LaPaul, last podcast on the left.
LaPaul.
I am very happy. I feel it's almost like a Thanksgiving-y feeling that I feel.
It is.
I want to feel like thankful for what Satan gave us this month.
Indeed, and of course, Satan gives a lot of gifts, and occasionally he gives the greatest gift of all, which is one of his minions. And these gifts are not just something you open up on All Hallows Eve. These gifts penetrate your soul, invade your mind, and lead to what is only known as exorcism.
Yeah, so today we're doing possessions and exorcisms. And Marcus has done a lot of beautiful research.
I could go for a friend. You know?
That's the thing.
Every now and again, I wish I just had a demon inside me, like, nah, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah, and it's just you just taking a shit at the fucking salad bar at Sizzler.
Right, well, it's a
Like,
weird...
yeah, Benny. Yeah, Benny. Get it all over them corn balls. Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, you have just described part of possession. Seriously, like that is
human
that is
fecal matter.
No. That is a part of it, though.
Corn balls.
No.
What part did he describe then, Mark?
It's the shitting in a salad bar.
A voice inside you telling you
Yes.
that you're doing great,
Yes,
helping you
yes.
with you making questionable decisions.
So not the salad bar, not the corn balls, not the feces, but a positive inner Tony Robbins.
You're talking about the positive reinforcement's the bad thing?
That seems like a great thing. You're
do
selling us
nothing
all
with- I just shout into the darkness and no one cares about me.
Anyway, these the videos, I will be listening to quite a few, I assume. Whether you believe possession's real or whether you believe exorcisms need to be done on these individuals or if they're just suffering from a manic depressive episode, a lot of the audible noises these humans make do sound from hell.
And very animalistic. There was a really interesting book I was reading called Poltergeist, with an exclamation point, by
written
Colin
by
Wilson.
Craig T. Nelson, of course.
Yes. Of TV's Coach.
Yes.
Oh, he was very versed in all of the lore of poltergeist activity. But basically what they said, he covered possessions a little bit, and his theory is that there is a difference with the way our brains function, the left and right brain, is that they say people who have like brain injuries or people who have like had their lobes separated, which apparently was common for a long time when we were just playing with bodies like they were a bunch of Play-Doh.
Right. So when you get like your lobe separated, is that similar to a what's that thing? A lobotomy type situation?
Sort of something like it decreases aggression.
Oh,
and then what they found is that if you show an image to the left eye and then ask the person what image they see, they say the image that they saw in the left eye, right? But if you show it to only the right eye, like if it's two separate images, like one left, they say always what's in the right eye, but if you ask in the left eye, but if you ask them what it is and they say to write it down, you'll write it down what you see out of your right side of your brain. And they say that there's something about this idea that your brain can technically, there's like two people inside your brain. There's someone that is recording a bunch of stuff, and then there's a conscious part of you. Mm-hmm. And that maybe the possession activity has got something to do with that, and the fact that there is a sort of alternate personality that's like kind of running a memory screen constantly.
So the
while
right
your conscious
side,
brain deals with everybody.
And the right side is the conscious side.
Yeah, I think that's what I remember. I got kind of crisscrossed. I was pretty drunk.
Right.
This.
Yeah.
Well, the research that I did, I took it completely from this fantastic book called Hostage to the Devil, which I recommend anybody who is interested in anything paranormal.
Which is sad because it's also the name of a Van Halen bio novel as well.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Hostage to the devil!
What is it? Eddie Van Halen? What was it? Sam Hagar and
Raji
David Lee
Von
Roth.
Hoolen is actually how it's pronounced.
Raji Von Hoolen.
Von Halen.
I'll tell you what, I'm going David Lee Roth anytime over Sammy Hagar Van Halen. I'm just going to say it.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
getting
glad
real
that-
controversial over there, aren't you, Ben?
All right.
You like Wabo Cabo more than David Lee Roth? You like I Can't Drive 55 better than Panama?
I mean,
Wait, did you say you liked Hagar better than you like David
no,
Lee Roth?
I like David Lee Roth better than Hagar.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
Well, then fine, I'll switch it then. I'll go to my left brain. I do like a little Wabo Cabo. Why not? It sounds like a great time.
All right, let's dip our toe in the chilly waters
Yes.
of possession.
So in order to understand exorcism and possession, one must first understand the devil and his fall from grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before anything. So when God created man, he created man after the angels, the firstborn. And so he created man, and the angels were to be... What's that?
Marcus, is this all real?
Yeah, this is what he did. This is how God
I didn't
works.
know, I didn't
Yeah.
For the purpose of the show, yes.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is, I will be speaking from here on out. I will be speaking about all of this stuff as if it is true.
I will be forced to believe it as well.
Yes, we must. Suspend disbelief.
So God created man, made him in his own image, and put them above the angels. Jealous of man, Satan rebelled against God and was thrust down into the pit. And when God sent Jesus into the form of into the form of man to the earth, essentially sending himself to earth, God made himself human. Jesus
So
having
fucking full of himself.
Isn't he, though? Always multiplying his own
Do
shit.
you think like when Satan got sent down to the pit, it's kind of like when you're grounded, but you still have your PlayStation?
Yeah, your PlayStation's in your room. You got all your porno mags in there, or your
This is
computer.
the best thing that ever could have happened to me.
Oh, I can't come out of my room for a week? Oh, man.
actually, yes, that's a great metaphor for
I'm
it.
going to miss having to watch American Idol with my dad? Oh, no.
So Jesus, having the experience of being human, became the perfect example of humanness, something to strive toward.
Great, yeah, white skin, blue eye, beautiful blonde hair.
Yeah, a nice mid-level job.
And humanness is defined as a person who is connected to other human beings, is able to feel love, is able to feel spiritual fulfillment. So therefore, when Satan or a demon possesses a human being, he is essentially achieving the closest thing he can to soiling Jesus Christ, and therefore God. It is the closest he can come to actually making a strike against God himself. To pervert a person's humanness is to pervert Jesus.
That's sexy.
A little soiling. It sounds like it's just taking a big piss inside of you or something. Like,
Yeah,
like one of
I
those
like that.
Kelvins, one of those Kelvin truck tags.
Like I'm a little outhouse.
Yeah. Don't treat me like an outhouse demon. You're doing good. Thank you, demon.
You can do anything you like, demon.
So Jesus is the key to the fullness of our humanness because he achieved that fullness for us potentially. It must be achieved actually in each one's choice and personal actions in the reality of the good and evil present and possible to us all and whether or not we have ever even heard of Jesus. So, in order for a demon to completely possess a person, he must completely remove their humanness. Everything that makes us human and makes us close to God.
That's really interesting, and that's why, you could say they make these animalistic noises, because they're growling like dogs or cats.
Right.
And so we don't, yeah, exactly. And so when
Interesting.
all of these, the interesting thing about all of these spirits is that they're only doing what they were created to do, but it's only twisted. Because God created these spirits in order to serve man, but when they rebelled, they were cast down into the pit. And so that rebellion and the hatred against God twisted their desires, so they still have the will and intelligence to interact with humanity.
Yeah, because they got all the skills, they got all the tools.
Exactly. They have all the skills, they have all the tools.
It's like
but-
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Sure.
It kind of is.
Man, we just sent
armed
him back home, didn't we? Woo! USA, baby! Woo! 1, 2, pew, pew. Yeah! Still reeling about that. I was sitting in a
Reliving
Mario
the moment.
Batali restaurant when I heard that happen.
Were you?
Yeah, I was eating ravioli.
I was at a sports bar drinking beer.
I was hanging out with my fuck buddy.
Isn't that something? He was also at a sports bar drinking beer. Don't let him know, Marcus.
Yeah,
Don't let
we
him
cleaned
know.
ourselves off and headed down to ground zero.
Hell yeah.
That's right. You did do that.
I can't wait till you tell that story to your grandchildren.
So great. Yeah.
I'm going to leave a certain part out of it. Guess which one?
Heading over
Cleaning
to ground
ourselves
zero.
off. I want my kids to think I'm dirty.
Yeah, kids, don't worry. I just got done squeezing a J all over some stranger I met on the train, and then, I met your grandmother about 20 years later.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, she didn't let me do all the dirty, stinky things I did to that trollop.
Well, Grandpa, it was a different time when Grandpa was a kid.
It was a different time.
2000 and what was it? 2011?
I don't even want to tell
2012?
Grandpa's favorite movie.
Oh, no.
So these demons, these spirits, they have the will and the intelligence to fuck with humanity, to possess humanity. They're only doing what they were created to do. They're essentially creations that went out of God's control.
Sweet.
And attack humanity. Now, that is the motivations behind possession. The actual process of possession, many times it starts when people are just children or
I think
teenagers.
it just sounds to me like God was a bad father, and these demons were they're trying to get close to their old man.
Wow, that's actually really interesting.
They're just trying to get back in there with Jesus. They kicked him out. He's like, how am I supposed to see my father? I better possess the closest thing to him, which is humans.
Now I don't like possession anymore.
I don't like it.
Now it's all about love.
Yeah, these demons are just trying to reconnect.
It is not about love. It is the exact opposite of love.
And we said that and the same thing that you just said. We were talking about before when you were telling me that point. Again, the same thing happens with alien abductions scenarios and hauntings. A lot of times the touches with the other realm happen when we're kids. I guess we're more open then, and like basically once you set the groundwork of I showed him a demon a long time ago, and now it's gonna be much easier when I get him when she's a full-titted 17-year-old girl.
I'm sorry, what happened?
A lot of times it doesn't even come until then. Like this whole phenomenon of teenage girls being possessed, that is not the most common of exorcisms.
Right.
It's just the sexiest kind.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like sexy in the term of it being appealing and interesting to people.
Well, yeah, because
no one
that's
wants to hear about the 45-year-old priest who was
Right.
who
I mean,
was
I
possessed.
do, but or like Father Templeton who's doing anything to not suck little boys' dicks anymore, and he tells everybody he's got a demon inside of him.
Right,
it's so
right,
much
right.
better when it's a 17-year-old girl, picture of innocence, long blonde hair, she's been brushing it. She just got done being out with Ross. Boogerman, and he's the
Ross
captain of the
Boogerman,
football team.
Isn't he amazing? And
He stick his hand up that fuzzy dress, that dress she's got on, and she's just like, no, not yet. I'm a virgin.
That's right, but he's like, I take care of autistic kids on the weekend, baby. It's okay.
She's like, okay, just the first length of your finger, then.
That's right. But you can work it in from there.
It is funny when you look when you look at videos of possession online. All you see is young girls.
Yeah,
you don't see
they're
any.
sort of
You don't see any men. You don't see any teenage boys.
no one wants to see a Kevin James in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But those men in the book that I read, there was one of the examples of possession was a man who was in his mid-30s. He was a radio DJ, just a generally unremarkable man.
Yeah,
And
radio
of course-
DJs are the worst type of human that exists.
Hey,
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. That's what Marcus wants to do.
that's what I did for 5 years.
We should line up all the radio DJs and put them on trains and take them to a camp of some sort.
You know
Please.
what? As
That way
a
we can
Jewish
just-
fellow, I would like a little revenge.
God, this thing.
I love it. But of course, Bob Larson, it was a video of Bob Larson. He's a great exorcist. We played a video on our last podcast on the Left Live show, and that fellow that Bob Larson saved from the devil inside him, he was a relatively frumpy everyman.
He was definitely a frumpy everyman.
Yeah,
But Bob
so it
Larson
does
will
exist.
do anybody who's got $500.
That's
Exactly.
right.
And that guy was just grumbling.
He was just grubbing. Yeah.
I put up that documentary of his 3 hot little girls that
Only
he's got.
one of them is his daughter.
Yes, the
Yeah.
redhead.
Yeah, the hot one.
Woo! What a cinder that one is.
Yes, indeed.
You know,
What a cinder.
but the way they talk is like, if you watch the documentary, they're all just like, there was like, no, we love, absolutely, we must stop Satan. We must go out there. We must defend the Lord every single day. And they're acting as if they're like G.I. Jane.
Well,
and you're
that's-
like, you're fighting Satan.
You're fighting nothing. I mean, that's the whole thing. Obviously, I grew up in a very Christian household, and I went to a very Christian school, and that was the whole thing. They were building a new Christian school, and our entire class project for a week was to make fake swords, put scripture on it, and march around where the foundation of the school was going to be, and yell at Satan.
Man, all we did was read Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah, it was different. It was a different school, and I would argue that you know how to read now, and I am iffy on it.
So in the process of possession, consent is always required on the part of the possessee.
Again, aliens, vampires, like the same thing. Again, you have to grant permission because
Right.
basically that is the self-hypnosis. That is the thing that allows the phenomenon to start because you have now fully convinced yourself that it's real and it's going to physically manifest on itself on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts as a small thing, something that like a very small concession.
I mean, let's go back to the analogy of Mr. Boogerton, where it starts with the, first index finger, the first, knuckle of the index finger, and then from there it's like, is it okay?
And you're
You
playing
feel
around
okay?
with the lips a little bit, but then eventually
it.
you got the whole fist up in there.
It truly is. I mean, any woman that's ever had sex with a man knows the steps. It's always baby steps until the chicks turn 30 and they're like, let's just get over this. I'm just going to stop with this whole I don't want a thing, and we're just going to fuck. But you have to get that permission. And also, you mentioned vampires. There is a certain Twilight type thing going on with exorcisms with the only beautiful women type
Yes.
thing. I do want to see, seeing a fat, frumpy trucker getting possessed by the devil, that's more powerful to me.
Well, we did watch one with a fat, frumpy 16-year-old.
I mean, that's just sad.
Yes. That was a woman, though. That was a girl.
Yeah, that was so that was a girl.
It's just an example of the ultimate view of innocence, and it's just PR work for churches. Is if you can show that the picture of innocence can also be corrupted by the devil, then you got everybody. Then you're like, well, I smoke cigarettes. This is gonna come for me next.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I want to say, there's been some requests for our last podcast on the left live shows to be streamed and recorded. I don't think we're gonna do that though. So just come out to the live shows, and then obviously we're in talks to get a pilot out there as well and things like that. But
just come touch your bodies.
yeah, just come and touch our bodies.
Yeah, come rub our feet.
Come see something that only exists and happens once.
Yeah, it's not that different, but it's very fun.
When the consent is given, once people start trying to expel these spirits, one of them was faced with intense physical pain. When he felt that there was something in his body and he would try to fight against it, would have intense physical pain. Another one was just bombarded with images of his own execution, like him getting his head chopped off in the electric chair. Just these intense feelings, and they would eventually acquiesce to them. And the next
What do
step,
you mean acquiesce? Again, I marched around the school.
acquiesce. They would say yes.
They said yes.
Yeah, they said yes. I apologize.
Thank you, Marcus. I represent 35% of this podcast who doesn't understand what that word means either. You're all my number one fans.
And so when things start going along, at some point in these people's lives, the demon actually starts to help them in their daily life.
Because that's you
In
gain
order
somebody's trust.
Yeah, they gained their trust. One of the radio broadcaster, his broadcasting, he had the most original style of broadcasting out there. He was getting job offers all over the country.
Absolutely, because you're riding that fucking lightning bolt of Satan's beautiful power. I can't believe, honestly, I've had several moments in my life over the last year or so since finding the love and joy of our Lord and Savior, Satan himself, and that I have asked Satan for help, and he has helped me. He's given me that extra edge, that extra push, made me a little bit harder. Maybe, let's say I'm taking a bunch of cold pills, but I'm still drinking a bunch of whiskey, but I still got to get in there.
I think it's just because we live in New York City and you can find a Mexican restaurant at 3 o'clock in the morning. They didn't just open for you, Henry.
So there comes a point in every possession where a person either chooses to fight or they choose to accept the spirit into their body and become what they call perfectly possessed.
Same thing with Annalise Michel. When that happened to her, she got in the same steps. Was that she basically got presented, finally said yes to the devil and accepting it into her because she felt that she would be a symbol to people, that she would I'll accept the evil and I will suffer for the evil and become a martyr in order to show everybody, that they're still good in the world.
Similar to the priest at the end of the original Exorcist, where he takes
come to me,
and then just jumps right out the window.
Well, that's exactly what priests do in an exorcism. That's where the actual name hostage to the devil comes from. Because
Well, now, I was under the impression the priest was never supposed to say that, because when I watched that with Father Steve, he said that's a cardinal sin.
Yeah, because Father Steve was watching out for number one.
yeah,
Well, Father Steve.
Father Steve was wrong.
Yeah, Father Steve wasn't a true knight of Jesus.
He got a bad heart, Father Steve. Bad heart. And raging homosexual. He really was.
Because what happens in exorcism, if these people choose to become perfectly possessed, a lot of times people don't even know that the possession has happened because it goes past the point of the fight. Because there comes a point where a person realizes that their will and their mind and their thoughts and their body are starting to be controlled by someone else. They start to fight against it. That's when you start seeing the odd events, the screaming, the banging, all of those, all the things that are traditionally, related to exorcism.
It's ironic. It also sounds like everything that's traditionally related to a bad relationship. Your personality changes, screaming, fighting.
You're going
physical
apple picking.
violence. You're going apple picking.
You're doing
You're
all
having
this
that
shit. You're
fight.
spending afternoons IKEA just going to me no, I love this
is
shade
great.
of brown. I love how it's going to feel in our.
So after
in
we
our
buy
house.
this, it's going to take us 8 hours to put it together, and
Yeah,
we're going to fight the whole. Oh,
I love
great.
to do that It's not a complaint.
I love this. This is really, really wonderful, Betsy.
So when the exorcism actually comes, when these people, when they start showing all these symptoms, that's when their friends or family, like, they start to seek help. A lot of people go to mental health professionals.
Well, because that is actually an interesting breakdown of the actual symptoms of temporal lobe epilepsy. Is that they talk about, like, I was watching this documentary called The Fifth Dimension. It's a series of documentaries, and they did one on exorcisms, and they showed patients of temporal lobe epilepsy, and they experienced a lot of the same things: weird voices, full body contusions, but without any medication modification. Basically, like, doctors were like, we're going to kind of run some current through these people and amp up their seizures so we can show that they talk about a feeling of otherness, like, all the time. They talk about how, like, when people who suffer from epilepsy feel like they're trapped inside their own body, that they're watching themselves from outside of their body, like there's someone in the room watching them. It's really interesting how the brain, and then it's just now it's just
and
a
that's
question
a lot
of
of the thing with near-death experiences as well. A lot of people who have seizures on hospital beds and things like that, like during surgeries. Technically, when you die, for brief moments, that's with
like
the
your brain
say
goes
that
on,
as well.
It's like when you like in Halo, when you die and then you get what's the term? Respawn. It's like the same thing where it's all of a sudden you like pop out because your brain has the sort of digital information of what the dimensions of what the room are, and it just angles itself. Like, basically, it's like a 3D hologram imager. Like, you just like can see the whole room from different angles. But then there's just the question of whether or not the activity is actually coming straight from our brains, or there is an external source that is making your brain, like, behave that way.
There absolutely is.
I just read an article on Dick Cheney. He's on his second heart. He's a total sociopath and didn't deserve his first one. He died on the operating table, and you know what his big post-death life was?
What?
Eating spaghetti and drinking wine in Italy. That's what he was doing. And they said, was your family there? And he said, no, absolutely not. That's true. He's like, no, my family wasn't there. I was just drinking wine and eating spaghetti in Italy.
Yeah, like that's fucking Illuminati.
Like James Gandolfini. It's amazing.
Well, what an exorcist actually does when that point of contention, when that choice is made for the person to fight back, the priest comes in to essentially fight for the person. Because the person
it's by proxy.
It's by proxy. The person themselves cannot actually fight the spirit. They don't have the power to fight. But the priest, who has the power of Jesus Christ, can fight them. And this power is given to him
which is similar to the strength of the power if you're fighting for Aquaman or Wonder Woman.
Also plays with the analogy of a marriage counselor in a terrible relationship.
I'm fighting for you. I know Elizabeth got big. And I know for a fact that you stopped caring about your job, Robert.
You know what, Elizabeth? I just hate the fucking counselor. That's all I'm saying.
They unite in hating the counselor.
That's it. That is a nice thing. Hate is a great uniter.
So now we get into the actual process of exorcism and the spirits themselves.
This is great.
Now, the spirits in virtually every exorcism, at a crucial point, the possessing spirit will refer to itself interchangeably as I and we, and is easily referred to my and our. I'm taking him. We are as strong as death. We're all the same.
Yeah, we are
only one of
legion.
us.
Yeah,
we are legion.
What about
That's the bit. We are legion is the big thing. One spirit, when one exorcist asked, "What is your name?" the exorcist replied, "Multus, Magnum, Gross, Grosser, Grossest," several times, 77 legions.
Oh, he's just going down the list of condoms.
But that's really interesting. I think that there's something to the idea of collective unconscious. Like, we did that whole episode on demons. Mm-hmm. We talked about these sort of archetype of demons, like specific demons. Like that's what they look up when they go through the exorcism, because it's a part of, I guess, what you'll do, like talk about it more. But like they need that specific name to like hold on to, like dispel the demon. And it just seems like these sort of archetypal figures that have been following us throughout all of humankind kind of like come back.
Right.
In this, it's like, because they're saying stories, and when they talk about Azazel, when they talk about Ubuzu, like they're talking about like would probably
a bizarrely
all
named
historical
dog.
figures. Yeah.
Ubuzu. I'm going to name my dog Ubuzu.
Yeah, because you got booze in there.
Oh, I always keep him drunk. What about this me? I feel like there's a lot of exorcisms, like the fan trucker I referenced earlier with Bob Larson. He's like, me want to stay. Me
I mean, that's just bad improv.
That's bad improv. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, some people, certain spirits, there are definitely tiers of spirits within hell. And definitely tiers of intelligence in hell. Some exorcists say that they are fighting with a demon and they feel the intelligence either being raised or lowered. As in, the demon will either call for the help of a higher demon or will leave and
It's like being a
leave it-
Blockbuster and you need your manager to come over to approve a discount.
Right.
Exactly. And of course, above all is Lucifer, the very tip top.
Right.
One demon said of Lucifer, those who accept the claimant, and the claimant is essentially this gathering of demons, because rarely do demons only attack alone.
It's like a corporation.
And
It
that's
is so many
interesting.
weird like allegories that you could put into this scenario.
Well, of
Exactly.
course, on
So
the
many.
last episode, we interviewed Shane Morton, wonderful secular humanist and the great makeup artist for Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. And this sounds much like the show that you star in on Adult Swim, Henry, where
it's
it's
very
like
true.
different hierarchy of demons. Obviously, you'd be a lesser demon if you did possess somebody
I'm a
in
lesser
that
demon,
character.
and then when that character would possess people, because that was like the original conceit of the show, is sort of an office comedy, but set in sort of like a Touched by an Angel scenario. But like I would need permission.
Touched by an Angel came up in the pitch meeting for that show.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
Yeah, so it's like we like, but I was a lesser demon who needed permission, who was there like on fucking call for my manager.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he says, those who accept the claimant have his will, only the will of the kingdom, the will of 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 the will.
That sounds like something from Bonkers Radio.
Say now, now, say now, now, now.
And if you are a true horror fan, listen to that, ladies and gentlemen.
And so
That
a
is
spirit's allegiance to Lucifer can only be overshadowed by its hatred of Jesus Christ. No spirit can actually say the name of Jesus. Never has anyone
Yeah,
actually
it's me
come
with that,
across.
like that Haley Joel Osment.
awful. Yeah.
Haley Joel Osment.
You're just saying the child actor Haley Joel Osment right now. You know what? You're not possessed. You have to go to school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I have a sharp little kernel of dookie stuck in my butthole.
The demons usually refer to Jesus
Sharp
Christ.
I'm sorry.
Usually refer to Jesus Christ as the other, the latter, that person, or the unmentionable.
Yeah.
I like that person.
I like
Yeah.
that person.
What do you mean
Oh, that person?
Interesting.
So the spirit, and this is something that I
But
find.
why? Just real quick. Why can't they just say the name Jesus? Why
Because
can't
it's
they
the
just
worst
get
thing
it
to
out?
them.
It's the absolute worst thing to him. It's the one thing that can defeat them. Jesus Christ has
Right.
the power to defeat them.
Yeah,
So if
true
you say-
blue-eyed,
and it goes-
blonde-haired, white warrior of goodness.
Yeah, and if you just like make all of what you just said opposite, you've just described Jesus.
And all of it goes back to Jesus in the Bible, where Jesus was the best exorcist that ever could have existed. Because he was before Jesus came, exorcisms were almost impossible. People
Well, he
just
discovered
couldn't do them.
there was a secret to exorcism, which is you kick the girl in the vagina.
Oh, isn't that
That's
something?
what you don't understand is if you repeatedly kick a girl in the vagina, you shoot the demon out of the top of her head.
You know, Mr. Christ, will you give me the Jesus boot? That's great.
Like he's the kicker for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, what a lovely story that was.
So Jesus was able to go up to any actual exorcised person and able to exorcise them almost immediately.
Kazam!
Kazam! Exactly.
You just got done. You got done.
You've been Christed. Yeah.
And so he gave those powers to his 12 disciples, who were then able to go out into the world and exorcise whomever
And those
they
disciples were
chose.
just using that shit to get chicks.
Oh, definitely.
Probably little boys.
Yeah, you
Ben,
never
I would
know.
appreciate it if you would stop looking at me like I'm a priest, because
Why?
the contempt in your eyes this entire
I don't have
episode
contempt.
has been creepy.
Every
I've
time you
heard
say
all this.
Jesus, I smell myrrh, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, no, I love what you're saying. I know all this stuff.
Doesn't myrrh sucks?
Yeah, myrrh's awful.
Frankincense, myrrh. What was the third thing?
Gold.
I
the
like
gold.
gold.
I like the gold. Whoever got him the gold, Jesus was like, "That's my favorite. That's my favorite of the three wise men
anybody
for
got
sure."
a rattle or something? Anybody got one of those things that help you learn letters?
Yeah, the other two wise
I
men
am
were
a
like,
baby.
"Of course you brought the gold. I just brought the frankincense. I brought the myrrh. Fucking cock holder. Cock holder Steve over here brings the gold."
So Jesus Christ gives the power of exorcisms to priests, but apparently it gets diluted somewhere because the actual power that the priests have isn't as great as that of Jesus Christ himself.
Of course.
Sure.
So it takes a lot more. Here's something that I find fucking fascinating. Is that what they say is that there are 3 levels of psychic phenomena in the world. There is the human, there's the preternatural, and there's the supernatural. Supernatural, that is God, that is Jesus. Those are the holiest of holy things.
Sure.
Preternatural, that's where the spirits are in the middle. That's
Gnomes,
that's-
leprechauns.
That's where you have telekinesis, telepathy, those sorts of things. And then the human is at the very bottom.
Yeah, which is just like digging holes to take a dump in, and like how to pick up
Yeah.
stalk of corn and other dumb shit that humans been doing since the beginning of time.
Important steps, though, in the right
Important stuff,
direction.
which
yeah.
is a tomato, which is a fucking, I don't know. Which is a tomato?
Strawberry pump.
What's a tomato?
I don't even know.
Just humans just saying it over and over again.
What's a tomato?
What's a goddamn tomato?
What's a tomato?
I keep hearing about these tomatoes. I keep finding these apples. I'll never get out of this fucking cave.
We'll just call those apples tomatoes and call it a day. Huh?
I'm gonna go rape my wife.
So the demons and the evil spirits, they only have access to the preternatural world. They have no actual physical being themselves. That's
Yeah.
why that's another reason why they want to possess humans, because they cannot actually have any sort of influence on the material world unless they are hosted by a human body.
And they're
a
jealous
home.
of our life, and they're jealous of like our freedoms.
Yes,
Right.
You know,
just like Osama bin Laden.
I
once
didn't say
again.
that.
Yeah, but you meant it. I agree.
But this, the powers that these demons use, while they're preternatural powers, that's where the screaming, all the banging, the shit flying around the room, the weird smells, that's where it comes from. And
I mean,
smells, that's a big thing as far as possession goes. A lot
Right.
of people will talk about like the rotting meat within the room,
And
but other
sulfur.
people,
But
other people talk about smells among the person before the actual exorcism happens. Like one was said that the
Yeah.
person had an off smell.
Ed Larson.
Ed Larson. from
Like
the
it was
Round
like
Table.
nothing that they said it wasn't necessarily unpleasant, nor was it pleasant. It was just strange. It was
Well,
something-
then you marry that person. It's like, well, it smells awful, but it's not unpleasant. That's your husband or
It's like
your
the
wife.
smell of like hospitals, or like the smell of like bandages and shit like that. Ugh.
yeah.
But it does seem
Probably
like
stuff like something like that, yeah.
the devil or demons, they tend to possess people. If you want to go back to like jealousy of life, they tend to possess people that look as if they don't really live an exciting one.
But that's a part of
You know?
the explanation. That's where multiple personality fits in. They talk about a lot of times when people get possessed. It's like the Colin Wilson used two examples of like one was like
Who's
a woman.
Colin Wilson?
Colin Wilson wrote this book called Poltergeist, which was an
Poltergeist.
exclamation point, and he basically said like one was a girl who had no friends, who was a librarian, who was like super quiet and stuff,
Right.
and then when she got possessed, she became this like highly sexualized woman
Of course.
who was like a lot of fun, and they all look literally like it's kind of an improvement when Mary Shelley went
Right.
ahead and like changed herself, but like she's not her anymore technically.
Right.
And so they say that's a part of the latent personality coming forward, and that your brain can then use the possession excuse in order to do things that its like morals wouldn't normally allow itself to do.
And that would also explain these sort of like stinky meat sort of odors and things like that. Just the overall
Say it again.
the non sanitary ways of the people that tend to be possessed.
Yeah.
Well, it said that some of the people in the book that were possessed, I mean, these weren't boring people at all. One guy was the head of a congregation in Greenwich Village, very popular pastor that was eventually possessed. Another one was the leading parapsychologist in America.
I
What
love
year-
that story.
What was the Greenwich Village guy? What years? Because
That was in the I think it was early 60s.
oh.
Yeah, late
that was
50s,
before-
early
I was
60s.
gonna
That was
say
like Bob Dylan's time.
Okay, I was gonna if
Yeah.
it was anywhere between 70s and 80s, I would say heroin.
No, this was
was the
during
demon,
like
but
he
okay.
was one of like the he was originally a Catholic priest who went on to open his own fellowship in Greenwich Village and was actually there with the beatniks and the hippies and whatnot, and a lot of them came into his congregation. The parapsychologist is an extremely interesting story in that this guy was really big into astral projection. He was really big into telepathy, things like that.
Astro Weeks, a great Van Morrison album.
Wonderful Van
Yeah, it
Morrison
is a
album.
good. It's a good album.
And so this man, his demon, each of these demons have names. There was one demon in the book named Uncle Ponto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
Absolutely. Ariel Castro's uncle.
Uncle Ponto.
Ponto, thank you for the gift of the dog leash that you give me. For me to stay, I take the woman, I tie the woman to the pole with the dog leash.
Yes.
Your nephew did some terrible things, Uncle.
Another one was named Mr. Natch. The one that possessed the priest, his name was Mr. Natch. The one that possessed the parapsychologist, his name was the Tortoise. Because he played the long game of possession. He pulled this guy in through parapsychology, through astral possession, all of this. As the guy accepted more and more of these, the demon gained more and more control over this man's body. And so when the priest came in, the demon that is inside a person, they can only use what natural talents a person has in the first place. So if a person doesn't have any psychic talents in the first place, there's not going to be a whole lot of telekinesis going on.
It's a bad body.
It's a bad body.
That's
it's
like
a bad
being
brain.
born. It's like, as a human being, you can only sort of do what your environment allows. It's like being born in Venezuela.
Yeah, you
as
could
opposed
teach me
to,
how
like-
to play basketball for weeks, and then you toss me into the NBA. I'm gonna get crippled.
Yeah, it's just not happening.
Yeah.
So this guy had these intense psychological powers. He was able to do, he was actually able to do telepathy. He was very adept in astral projection.
And this time, the whole time, he's probably just thinking, "Oh, I'm finally on to something."
Yes,
Right.
this entire time he's thinking that he is close to finding the original meaning of Christianity. He thinks that he's traveling back in time and actually possessing the body of a Roman soldier, and he thinks that he's on the cusp of almost meeting Jesus and finding out the true meaning of Christianity. So eventually he breaks down. He starts going crazy. The possession truly begins. He truly begins getting taken over by this spirit. So what do they do to
What's some of the actions that he does after he gets fully taken over by the spirit? I mean, he starts...
It's it's just acting strangely,
Yeah.
passing out, being aggressive.
Yeah,
when-
putting his
where he
shoes
was
on his
never
hands,
aggressive
walking
before.
around like pouring tea into the kitchen floor.
I
Going
see,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, we're having a party, everyone."
Right,
something's
right.
wrong with Ronald.
Yeah, he would go from being aggressive to dead-eyed. Like there would be no no vestige of his old personality remain whatsoever. So he was, while he was still rooted in Christianity, he had a student years before in the parapsychology department that was an ordained priest who also had psychic powers, very strong psychic powers. So when this guy started going crazy, when they started seeing some signs that something wasn't quite right, they brought in this other priest. So what you had was a psychic battle between a priest and a demon.
So a psychic
great.
priest.
A psychic priest.
Man, he knew all the boys' penises sizes.
Definitely.
And this battle was so fucking hard that it killed the priest. The
Hell
priest-
yeah.
The priest died not long after the
Which
exorcism.
priest died? The one who was being exorcised or the exorcist?
The exorcist.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell
and
yeah.
this is a seasoned exorcist. Like
That's
these
one
priests-
for us.
Like exorcists have very short lifespans. These guys don't survive very long.
Yeah, because most of their job is going like, "God, God, send in the name of Jesus Christ, get on!" That's
It's
like our
stressful.
lives.
Yeah, definitely.
And it is
definitely.
completely unclear why one person is chosen for possession and another isn't. We have no idea why people are chosen. Some might be, like, we don't know if they're chosen by selection. No way to be sure. When one asked, "Why did you choose this person?" the spirit replied, "He was chosen before he was born."
He had DirecTV. I had to watch the last.
You got that
Breaking
full
Bad.
sports package. I
Yeah.
want to see the Ravens on Sunday.
I don't know why they just don't put Homeland on regular cable.
So out of all of the stories in the book, the most fascinating by far is Richard Rita.
Okay.
Richard Rita was a transgender.
Bad to have a lady's name as your last name.
Well,
Yeah.
no. That was the reason why it was Richard Rita is because he was a transgendered male to female.
I was being insensitive.
That's right. Oh, now you admit that. That was one of the least insensitive things you've said on the show.
So Richard Rita, male to female, it is said that he let the spirit inside him as a child, obsessed with femininity, had identity issues his entire life. He also always had the desire to be a woman.
Yeah, Dad kept trying to get him into football. He's listening to Cabaret.
Right,
There's
right.
nothing to be done.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Dad. I love the shoulder pads. I just don't like the hitting.
So I would like, and so this guy was completely. I mean, he was fighting against this femininity his entire life. I'm going to read some excerpts from the book. There are 3 different excerpts.
I bet
And
there is a bunch of examples of people that are hiding
Yeah.
their sexuality that end up in these scenarios because that is just
It
like
is
the
true.
ultimate horrible lie.
It
Because
is.
it's like it's written on it's written in your fucking genes. So you have to deny it because you're already living a double life. And like the same thing with serial killers. It's the same thing with John Wayne Gacy.
Same
Like,
thing with my Opa, who was Jewish and also a German soldier. As a Jew,
What do we got? Like 2 more weeks of this?
Oh, forever and ever, my friend. Forever and ever. But no, it is an interesting thing. It is a situation of the times. It's
This
ironic
is in
and bizarre.
the early 1960s.
early 1960s, and yeah, at that time that makes sense. It's a bizarre and strange to think that the idea of being possessed was more normal, was more accepted than the idea of being like, I just want to wear a dress.
Well,
Not in this case at all. His parents and his family was very
With
accepting.
society.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So
he still has to go outside the
His
house.
family was accepting, and they were definitely supportive of the entire thing.
That's really interesting.
Isn't that like that's the weird thing about it? So on the night,
If we have any transgendered people out there, any young kids listening, you think you want to be a girl or vice versa, go for it.
yeah.
Do it.
Do
like
it
they,
up.
I mean, we'll get to the acceptance in a little bit, but first I want to read an excerpt about his wedding night.
Ooh.
Throughout his engagement to
Lucky
his
lady.
I don't want to cry.
Throughout his engagement to his wife, they had never gone past the very occasional kiss of passion. As they lay in bed on their wedding night, Richard
First knuckle kind of guy,
This
huh?
is the scariest story we've read on the show.
Yeah, is this a creepypasta?
Richard turned to Maura, his wife, and said, "Now, darling, now Lake House is full of them. I am all of me tonight." They began the act of love. She heard his voice again. "Open your eyes. Look at me." The sight of his face froze every muscle in her body. It was a flat, featureless face without a line, no
I love
expression.
this.
His eyes were open, but they were unblinking and still, sightless hollows. Richard began to feel himself as her, his female self, no longer inside of his own body. He heard a voice, though he knew not where it came from. "Let me take you, secret and all, mystery and all, Richard. I'm your fucker. Your fucker. Let me." Maura was clawing at his back, suffocating under the heavy weight of his body, screaming, terrified.
That's just normal, though. That's normal lovemaking, right?
This is,
that's normal, yeah.
You're doing it right.
He ejaculated in the midst of her terror and rolled off. When Maura opened her eyes, Richard was over by the far wall, letter opener in hand, tearing and gouging at the wall with wide sweeps while hammering the wall with a clenched fist. A muffled groan, rising and falling, was all she heard from him.
Yeah, because
Maura
she
ran out
wasn't
of
a man.
Maura ran out of the bedroom, never to return.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you kind of want to cohabitate before you get married.
You should do a bunch of stuff before you
Yeah.
just like go ahead and wait until you get married. You know?
And, ladies, if you're with a guy and you're like creeped out and you have sex with him, a little put a letter opener by the bed.
When he says like,
You know,
"Oh, I
and see
can,"
if he grabs it afterwards and starts stabbing the wall.
yeah, it's like I'm all of me now.
No.
It's just a bad sign.
Bad.
You know?
bad.
Yeah, she never saw
Dead
him.
expressionless eyes. That's just him trying not to come too fast.
Right, yeah.
So don't worry about the dead expressionless eyes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens.
Right.
And the full smothering, that's just because sometimes, I mean, that's just how he's got to be. Maybe his back hurts.
Well, I think he was just being a little bit lazy and he didn't want to...
I mean, he was just laying on her and
yeah,
just
he
pumping
wanted to
her
pretend
like
it was
she
a
like
man.
some kind of like couch.
Yeah.
And so this is a story of the first time he truly went to the dark side.
That wasn't it? I thought that was it.
No. That was just dipping a toe in.
Yeah, that was dipping his
okay.
toe in. Yeah, and by the way, he never
that what he
saw
did to
his-
her?
He never saw his wife again.
No, that's for the best.
Oh, they broke up?
Yeah, she
That's
ran
weird.
out that night, and he never saw her again.
Yeah, that's for the
Yeah.
best, yeah.
He began to have regular visits with prostitutes. No woman ever came back a second time. It was not male sexuality that impelled him, but a jealous curiosity about the female and feminine. He noticed a duality of ecstasy and death in women during sex, their moans of pleasure so close to those of pain.
Whoa.
One night during a business trip in the middle of a snowstorm while walking back to his hotel, he heard a moaning sound from some bushes and trees that stood in a deserted area between two houses. No one was in sight, and all the houses around were dark. Behind the bushes, he came across a spread-eagled form of a young girl. She had been raped and stabbed, clothes torn off. Between her legs and at her shoulder, blood stained the snow in small, dark places. Richard was fascinated. He watched for a while. He crept forward, keeping his head down from the wind, then stopped and watched more closely. The girl was still moaning, head twitching. He remembers little else. He recalls tearing off his clothes feverishly, fearing she might die before he finished what he wished to do. He recalls the wind whistling music in his ears, and then marvelously... God damn it!
I liked it.
Changing his music to words. He remembers catching the last glance of the girl who stared at him for one instant before her eyes went completely dead. He felt her body shudder. He stood in a moment of triumph. He had achieved the ultimate watch on woman. He felt the security of being controlled and the promise of success. You shall be his woman. Months later, Richard would finally see his dream of being a woman actualized. He finally had the sex change.
Yay!
I mean, I don't like this guy. He didn't call the police?
yeah, I mean, you don't
No,
want
he
him in
raped
charge.
her until she died. After she had already been raped.
That's the thing, though, is that it's still just like you found her raped.
Yeah,
Why would he lie about the first part?
It's like somebody else already had her going.
Yeah, because then he would lie because then you finished her.
Yeah, I mean, he did the worst thing technically.
I don't know why I even heard about that guy. Was he possessed?
What's that?
When was the possession?
That's
The
the
possession began when he was a child.
That's the possession?
Yeah,
When
possession.
he rapes the girl?
No, that's when the possession starts becoming darker.
That's
when
when
the
when it got really
when the
bad.
Spirit starts to become fully him.
Yeah, we skipped past
I
all the
don't
things
believe
where
it.
he didn't return a bunch of Blockbuster videos.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like he went up the down escalator a couple of times. That's like the beginning levels.
Yeah.
But then now he cut his penis off and now he's a woman.
Now he is a woman.
He didn't cut his penis off. He had doctors
He
do
went
it.
to
Yeah,
a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he still
doctor
raped and
just
killed a woman.
sucked on his mouth. I heard that's what they do with the surgery, right? Where the doctor
get a
just
priest in there, yeah.
sucks on your nose until your penis shoots up inside you.
Oh, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Finally, in 1973, Rita attended her first black mass.
I mean, why isn't she in prison?
Because she wasn't caught.
That's the thing.
Okay.
I feel
mean,
better
isn't-
now.
This isn't from a police report. This is from testimony given by Richard Rita to the author of the book.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so he just said this like it was normal.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But he was possessed, so, he didn't really do it.
With his balls, with his dick.
No,
Devil,
he didn't
devil
do
was
it.
in the
He
balls.
didn't do
huh?
it.
He
Yeah.
didn't do it. Yeah.
At the pre-party of the Black Mass.
The pre-party, of the Black Mass.
We missed the wrong generation.
We really
I
did.
guess
we
so,
were
yeah.
I mean,
born
I'm
way
not even
too
going to go
late.
into the details of this party, but this party sounded fucking kick-ass.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Well,
There
yeah,
was
the
a
pre-party.
there was a pool. Everyone was drinking, having a good time.
Nobody throws a black mass anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm going to do it.
All right. Well, I'm going to read you how they usually go.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Let's see.
At the pre-party, she felt surprisingly at home, laughing with all the other guests.
I mean, I bet they were funny.
Sure. Hilarious.
At 12:45, she suddenly noticed a hush. Nobody was speaking. The music had gone silent. 3/4 of the guests had departed. The Black Mass was about to begin.
We did the mash. We did the monster mash. Shut that music off.
The remaining guests removed their clothes and calmly undressed Rita.
Oh, yeah.
A man approached her and said, "Rita, I am Father Samson, willing minister of our Lord Satan.
Hail Satan!
Come, let us adore."
Adore him!
The guest lifted Rita and placed her back flat on an altar. She heard 3 voices chanting an old Latin mass. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti et Domini Nostri Satanas. A woman.
You're so pleased.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed it, Marcus.
Thank you. A woman pricked Rita's vein, letting drops of blood fall into a chalice mixed with wine. Father Samson parted Rita's legs and mounted the altar.
Here, let's get at her then.
Yep.
You lay there, Ray. You let old Father Samson do what he's got to do. Don't worry about it over lickety splat. Ah.
He entered Rita fully and sipped from the chalice and made Rita do the same.
Here, have some. He'll have some. You'll like it. You'll like it.
But there was some blood that dropped in.
It's house wine. Oh, okay.
Father Samson started to rhythmically push and pull in Rita, saying as a refrain, "Satan, Satan, Satan," lengthening the first syllable as he drew partially out of Rita and hitting the second syllable with hard emphasis as he drove back.
All right,
in.
take it easy, Henry. Jesus, he's getting rock hard over here.
Yeah, you don't like me fucking this pumpkin?
Not exactly. I gotta eat that pumpkin later.
Rita could hear heavy breathing but could see no face, only the outline of a head. She murmured, "Father Samson, Lord Satan, Father Samson, Lord," but was interrupted by a harsh, grating sound of a single word coming to her through the heavy breathing. "Girl fixer! Girl fixer! Girl fixer!" Rita no longer heard the chant of Satan. Now everyone at the party seemed to be joining in. "Girl fixer!
Girl fixer! Girl fixer! Girl fixer! Girl fixer!
Father Samson.
Satan.
Father Samson was now probing the inside of Rita's rectum.
It's like a Harry Belafonte song.
Yeah, sort of.
Massaging, scooping, probing, pushing, pulling. He heaved and shook. "Have me, girl fixer! Father Satan! Have me! Smell me! Fuck me! Through! Through!" Rita screamed as she came, and organ notes thundered, filling the air. The scene subsided slowly, and Rita knew a shadow was affixed to her soul, not to be dispelled until the day of her exorcism.
And that was the best birthday I ever had.
That's right. And then Roman Polanski came in and was like, "What did I miss? I was
Hey,
busy
so head
drugging up
over
a
to the
girl."
top tub. I got this Girl Scout.
Ooh.
We're all ready
yeah.
to party in here. Oh, you guys already done?
You know that Mr. Rita there. She's got balls.
You
know
guys
that,
mean to
right?
tell me I missed the cocktail weightings?
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Girl Fixer was the name of Rita's demon.
Ooh.
Girl Fixer.
Yeah, Girl Fixer.
Fixer.
Probably should have told you that beforehand. but-
Sounds like something Clive Barker would create in the Hellraiser series.
Yeah, but it would
Girl
never involve
Fixer.
a lady.
Oh,
That's for
definitely
certain.
not.
He is the biggest homosexual on the face of the planet.
Clive Barker is.
Yeah.
Is he really?
He's ripped.
Really?
Yeah. Have you
Like
seen
Rob
him?
Halford?
Like, kind of like Chuck Palahniuk.
Oh,
Really?
Just fucking jacked. Huge.
I didn't know that he
a lot
was
of
gay, though.
V-necks. Yeah, have you seen Hellraiser?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the 80s. That's what I thought.
He designed all the costumes. From stuff he saw in the old, the East
leather
Village
clubs.
back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
So now I think we're going to play a fun game. Now that we've done this, we've learned a little bit.
A little
We're going to
bit,
play a
yeah.
little fun game. So I went looking for a real exorcism footage. And what's really fun is that there's a shit ton of it.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that, want to have fun making fun voices for an afternoon.
That's right. That's right.
So we're going to play a little game called Real Exorcism Noise or Funny Cat Noise.
Yes. And now usually I'm the one who looks up the cute animal noises and little pugs playing pianos.
I
and
did it
things,
this
but-
time.
And Henry, how much fun is it?
It's fine.
It's fun.
I'm fine with the cat noises. It's the baby videos. I hate baby videos.
Well, there are some cute babies out
I like
there.
baby videos.
Sure, yeah, fuck it.
You ever
yeah.
seen the one the baby ripping the paper and he keeps laughing?
That's the one I wanted to play in the last
It's a great one. I
live
love that
show.
one.
I hate it.
But it rips the paper and the baby's thoroughly thrilled.
Where's the workmanship?
I mean, there was some. Anyway, all right, Marcus.
So we're gonna play a noise, and we're gonna decide whether or not it is an exorcism noise or a funny cat noise.
funny cat noise or exorcism. Okay. That's an exorcism.
That's exorcism. Sure. Yeah.
You are correct. It is an
Play along at
exorcism.
home, everybody. I want to see your scorecards on the Facebook page.
Let's hear a little bit more of that. Oh, he just said go to hell. Ooh, she's wearing a tracksuit.
You want to be prepared.
You don't know she's sitting on a pasta bowl full of ravioli.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, she's screaming, "Let me go! Get the water!"
Whoa.
Fine, you can
She's
go to
waking up the
comic village.
roommates, that's for
Yeah,
certain.
Definitely. Let her have what she wants.
All right, so next one, funny cat noise or exorcism.
Let's hear it. I'm gonna go exorcism. I'm gonna say exorcism.
With 192,000 views, cat making weird noises.
Cat makes weird noises. Wow, that's incredible.
They're rubbing him with a little brush.
scratchy brush.
They're just brushing him. And he,
I swear to God, that is a possessed cat right there.
you should see him.
Cute cat, though. All right. I'm 1-1.
1-1. All right, next up, exorcism or funny cat noise.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I silence Minga. I command the spirit of evil to leave now.
We don't want to leave.
I mean, that was kind of a gimme.
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
I just kind of wanted to play "We Don't Want to Leave."
Me don't want to leave.
What's the name of that video, Marcus? Because this woman's hilarious.
Scary demons and spirits attack people on film. Must see.
She's a chubby one.
It is kind of a must-see.
It is kind of a must see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Is that the one that looks like a worse-off Jackie?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Jackie Zabrowski, of course, from the Round Table of Gentlemen.
Next up, exorcism or funny cat.
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't want to say it because I want to listen.
I could just listen to this all day long.
This should be the episode.
That's a cat.
That's a cat.
That's a funny cat.
That's a funny cat. Russian cat. Apparently, it's a breed in Russia. They're the only ones that talk like
It's
that.
got throat
Okay.
cancer.
Yeah, it's definitely going to
Interesting.
die. All right. Real exorcism or funny cat noise?
Ooh, this is a tough one. Well, the smoker's lung kind of gives it
You
the
don't
real
watch.
exorcism.
You don't see The Exorcist choking this woman above a bucket. That's what he's
Oh,
doing.
that's the woman that vomits. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a real exorcism. That's very close. Minus, as soon as you're like, oh no, cats don't smoke 3 packs of Newports a day. Never mind, that's a human. That's tough to tell, though.
All right. Exorcism or funny cat?
She farted.
She did fart.
I bet she farted.
She farted. Marcus, let's rewind that. Let's just make sure that she farted. Let's really hear that.
Take it back.
58.
That's a part. She farted. I mean, if you're the priest, you got to laugh at that. You got to break exorcism.
Well, you know,
Yes.
this is just too much.
Man.
You put that on the blooper reel, am
That
I right?
is goofy stuff.
All right. This is our last one.
All right.
Exorcism or funny cat?
All right.
Trick question. It's a dog.
It's a dog, everybody. You've been goofed.
You just got goofed.
Y'all done been goofed?
Y'all done been. We're the devil. Telling you lies.
I fucking
It's
love
an
it.
amazing dog. What's the name of that video so they can see? You got to see this dog.
Ugly dog makes weird noises.
And it's a very accurate description of what the video is.
So now that we played the game, we got that out of the way. We all had fun.
That was one of
yeah.
my favorite games we've ever played.
We're gonna do something that we promised you at the very
Yeah.
beginning of this month that we would do.
Yep.
Now it's time to begin the seance.
Yes.
To try to call our Lord and Master, Satan himself, into the room. So let us begin by lighting the candles.
We do have
have a
3
lighter.
candles on the table here. One's pink and 2 are brown.
I thought they were black.
You thought it.
In the store, I thought it was black, and then when I
Okay.
took them out here, I realized that they
Yeah.
were poo-poo brown.
They are poo-poo brown.
They're
and
like
of course,
bourbon brown.
Bourbon brown.
Oh, yeah, sure, that's generous.
All right, Marcus is lighting up the first candle there, and I don't know what the scent is on these. I don't think
I'm
there
pretty
is
sure
any.
it is poo-poo brown.
Is it poo-poo brown?
And I have one with the little blonde-eyed, blue-haired fucking, baby Jesus on it.
Yeah, well, a little racist. Think the baby Jesus would look like. It's kind of cute.
Okay, so I pulled up this seance how-to from WikiHow,
Okay.
so you know it's legit.
Now, this is WikiHow. Yeah, they always have the right answers for what you're looking for. Yep, so our hands are now on the Ouija.
Your hands are not on the Ouija
All
board.
right. Well, it's a theater.
Marcus and I'll do it. Marcus and
Theater
I'll
of
do
the mind. This is what this is here. Let's see if I can just.
So
kinda
we're going to try
get it
to
over there. Here. Okay, I'm officially touching it now.
super light. You got such a heavy finger.
Well, I know.
All right, so this is the chant that WikiHow says that we should do.
Okay. What's the chant?
First, I have to burp.
All right.
Oh, is that part of the chant?
Oh, yeah, you have to do that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
first, everybody at home listening, burp.
You got to expel your inner demons.
Your inner demons.
All right.
Did you just fart?
No, I did not. That was my chair.
Sure.
I'm not possessed by the devil.
Spirits of the past, move among us. Be guided by the light of this world and visit upon us. Beloved Satan, we bring you gifts from life into death. Be guided by the light of this world and visit upon us. No movement.
No movement yet.
Let me try it one
movement
more
yet.
time.
But the candle did pop when you said Satan.
The
Seriously?
candle did
Yeah.
pop. Yes, it did.
Oh my God, it's working.
It is working.
Let me try to read it again.
All right.
Do it like
Spir-
Detective Popcorn.
Spirits of the past move among us. Be guided by the light of this world and visit upon us. So delicious. So buttery I could barely get my hand on this Ouija placard. So slippery. Beloved Satan, we bring you gifts from life into death. Jujubes. Bite off the end of a Twizzler. You can use it like a straw with your Coke in it. Be guided by the light of this world and visit upon us, dear delicious Satan.
Well, there seems to be a little bit of movement now. And we've got what letter there, Marcus?
Let's just put it on the letter R.
Oh, it's on R. It's on R.
R. It's on R. Okay.
So then
R?
you just gotta.
Oh, it is moving.
Oh, it is.
It
yeah,
is moving.
It is moving.
Let's see here. We have an I. We have an I.
Yeah, do we have an I?
Can we get an I? I.
Survey says
It's an I.
I.
Interesting. I mean, an M.
It's a
It's like-
C.
it's a C.
C.
It's a C. Okay.
It's a K.
It's a K.
Rick.
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 Rick. Who is Rick? Is it another R?
Ricky.
It's Ricky.
Ricky. Where do you come from, Ricky? Are you the are you like a retarded boy that used to live in this basement?
And we've got a yes. We
yes,
have
it
a
is.
confirmation on Ricky.
Yes.
That's good.
So what do you want from us? What would you want from us, Ricky? What could we do to,
Well, let's
to
ask
help
him-
you release your soul?
Let's ask you some yes or no questions mostly. Ricky, are you happy? Are you happy where you are, Ricky? We have a no.
of
We
course
have a
not.
no. Ricky, are you in heaven with the Lord Jesus and his angels? No.
Resounding
And
no.
Multiple times with
That
the
went,
no.
that one went fast.
Very fast with Ricky.
What could we do to release you from hell and bring you to heaven, Ricky?
Spell it out, Ricky. Spell it out if you can.
F.
A? Is that an
F.
It seems to be an F, and then he's going with an A.
U.
U.
N.
Fun.
Y.
Foony. He's a bad speller, maybe.
O.
Funia.
N.
Are you trying to spell Funyuns?
Funyuns.
I don't even know if that's how you spell
It's
Funyuns.
Funyuns.
Is that how you spell Funyuns?
That's what
I'm not. So.
That's how Ricky spells Funyuns.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have no control over this.
Yeah. Funyuns, Ricky. Okay. So you
Well,
want
this is successful.
Yeah.
This is really successful. I'm glad we
This
did
was
this.
just a great. I'm so happy everyone waited a whole month for us to summon the devil.
Well,
is this
Ricky,
the,
we'll get you some Funyuns and we'll
wow?
we'll
We are-
work that out for you. You know,
Yeah.
Twin Peaks,
Man,
Dallas, and Sopranos.
we're a
all
bunch of
ended
Warrens
better.
in here.
Yeah,
Boy,
we are.
Just call me Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Warren.
I will call you Elizabeth.
Thank you.
I was thinking maybe you would say Rick rolled, and then we could just play that song.
No.
No, I didn't do that. I mean, Ricky didn't do that.
No, I know. I mean,
Ah.
no, we did contact Ricky.
Well, this is great.
Isn't
Yeah.
that fun?
This is a lot of fun.
Well, this is. I honestly want to say, try it at home.
Try it.
Like,
out.
look it up.
And-
Like, do it right. Take off. Like, it's important to light. You need groups of 3. You need 3 candles. Everything needs to be divisible by 3 in
And
order to
actually
properly do the seance.
Get some Funyuns.
Get some Funyuns.
Really, when we were children, actually in high school, it was we used to do quite a bit with the Ouija board, and I swear by it. that it would possess the house and the cat would go crazy, and it nearly killed my friend Josh Kahn.
I watched a Ouija board set itself on fire in elementary school. I did see that.
So
but
I do believe in it.
And I will say that this is one of the most powerful nights to do it. We have tonight and tomorrow night. It's like we're ringing in the holiday. Do it, man. Bring the end times. This is your fucking shot at the mic. You know what I mean? We can't do it. We have psychic blocks, but there are listeners out there that can totally summon a demon, and I want you to summon a fucking demon, take a picture of it.
Yep. Well, of course, please put it on record.
Put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And I want to thank the woman, I forget her name, who posted the picture of Mr. Dwyer.
Yeah.
The politician who shot himself in the head. I had never seen the full footage.
Really? It's pretty sweet.
That, the waterfall of blood that just comes pouring out of that man's nostrils.
It is quite permanent.
Holy Lord.
Her name is Kelsey Menke.
Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Thank
that
you,
was
Kelsey.
an intense video.
This is the
and
draw
honestly,
of a close.
the irony about that video, for every time you're like, I want to shoot myself in the head, watch that video and be like, oh yeah, that's what it looks like. Never mind.
So this draws to a close our celebration of October.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been an emotional ride.
It has been. We have had so many great discussions, and we've heard so many amazing tales from our listeners and from our friends.
And so don't worry. And then we have a bunch of crazy shit lined up for the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
of course.
yeah.
We ain't stopping. We ain't slowing down.
That's right. And you don't stop and you don't slow down. Whatever you want to do with your life, you do. If you work at McDonald's, you become a manager of that McDonald's.
Yeah, you get all the fish fillets out as fast as possible. First thing.
And fucking steal one ball every day from the ball pit until the kids jump in and hurt their backs because you stole all the balls and you're having a great time in your own tub.
So hail Satan, everyone.
Hail Satan, everyone.
Happy Halloween. I hope it's beautiful.
I hope you have the greatest Halloween you've ever had.
Make crooked love underneath an old dark tree.
Crooked love under a dark tree.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, everyone. Magustalations.
Heil Geen.
Heil me as well.
Heil yourselves. And are we missing one?
Peace be with you.
And also with you.
Yeah, Satan!
Yeah.
Accept the Lord Jesus Christ in your body and soul.
No. Oh, you imagine that's how we end this? This is actually a huge ruse by Bob Larson to get people into Jesus Christ.